If you're somebody who's tried everything, like you saw certain influencers speak about manifestation, they started to speak about affirmations, vision board, and you've been doing that, and you also got introduced to the beautiful book called The Secret, and you started to believe in the process of law of attraction, but for some reason, your manifestations are not working. Right? And today's video is going to be about dissecting the three major reasons as to why your manifestation is not working despite all the efforts that you're putting in. And I'm also going to give you solutions of every problem that you're facing, especially the three reasons, and what is it you can do to counter that. So even before I get started with the video, excuse me if I'm looking tired, if I'm looking a little down with my energy, because I'm super duper jet lagged and I'm just recovering. I just came back from Costa Rica after doing a 7-day intense plant medicine retreat, which is majorly ayahuasca. And I'm literally waiting for me to recover and get back into my full-on energy mode so that I can do a full-fledged video about my insane and incredible experience doing ayahuasca. I've done it in the past in 2020. It was definitely life-changing for me, and that's exactly why I put it on my vision board. So in 2020, I didn't have the money that I have right now, but I knew I'm going to get to that point. So in my vision board, when I created it during the COVID, I'd done ayahuasca, the first ceremony before COVID. So I'd put out this specific place called Rhythmia out there, and I knew my entire up and down flight charges and the entire 7 day in itself is going to be slightly expensive back then for me. But yeah, life changes. Life gives you exactly what you vibrate at. And I'm super feels like there's been a lot of downloads during the experience, and I really can't wait to share all of the experiences with you. But I think I'm going to take a couple of weeks for myself to just not sulk, to sink into that energy, to go through my own insights that I've written down as notes. Like, I think I've written down like 40-50 pages of notes of all the insights and downloads that I had, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. But that for another day. Today, the goal is for us to understand what are the three major reasons that are actually stopping us from manifesting our true desires. So I'm going to quickly walk you through all the three things. And once I quickly walk you through all the three things, I'm going to explain section by section by section and also help you understand how you can overcome this. The first one is self-concept. Some of you might be wondering, what is self-concept? Oh, there is self-worth, there is self-esteem. What the hell is self-concept? And for some of you, this can also already be a term which is very familiar for you. And if you want to dive deeper into understanding the power of self-concept and what it truly is, which I'm going to be talking about in a bit, I would also highly recommend for you to read this book called Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. It's an incredibly amazing book that helps you understand the way you view yourself is exactly how life is going to show up for you. So one reason is self-concept. What is the second reason? The second reason is obsession. So we're going to talk in detail about obsession towards our goals, towards what we want to manifest. There is a difference between taking inspired action and coming from a space of obsession. And obsession is a very repulsive energy, which means it keeps pushing away the things that you want to manifest for yourself in your life. So obsession majorly comes from two things, which is lack of trust. Lack of trust. So lack of trust in yourself and the universe. So I always like to write universe because I believe it's in you which the universe is always hiding and living. So the first reason why we're not able to accomplish what we want is because of a self-concept. We'll break it down one by one. The next one is the obsession, the obsessive energy that we have. And the last one is thinking, not feeling, which means in your mind, you have very vivid, clear picture representations of what you truly want to accomplish in your life. But for some reason, it is not sinking in as feelings and emotions. And why? If it does not sink in as feelings and emotions, the possibility of it manifesting in your life is very, very small. So let's start off with self-concept, right? What is self-concept? Self-concept is the meaning that you give to yourself, which means this is who I am. So in my mind, I have stories about me. I have stories about me as to what is possible, what is not possible, what I deserve, what I don't deserve, and what is normal, what is not normal for me. So, which means in my mind, I literally have a story bank of a narrative that is constantly telling me what is possible for me, what is deserving for me, what is that I'm not deserving of, what feels normal to me. So, you will only manifest something that is conducive, which is equivalent to the story that you've been constantly telling yourself. Which means if I have a self concept of I am a broke person, which means all of my stories in my mind are going to constantly be around the loops of, oh my God, somebody is going to come and cheat me. I will never be able to make a lot of money. My boss is here who's very, very mean to me. My colleagues will always take away credit for the work that I do, which means I can never become rich. I can never become wealthy in my life. So every single experience in your life, right? So for example, let's say this is the person that you are, or this is the person that you know, somebody in your life. And this person has a narrative, they have a narrative or a story in their mind about themselves, which says, I am not lucky with money. Let's say they have a story like that. But one day they ended up looking at somebody talk about vision boards, and on January 1st, they made up their mind and they said, okay, I'm going to create a vision board for myself, and this is the kind of money that I want to attract for myself in my life. So they start working on the affirmations, they start working on every single thing, and 2 to 3 weeks, it all starts to fizzle out. Why? Because you will always, your subconscious, these stories are so hardwired in your subconscious mind. So because these stories are so hardwired in your subconscious mind literally dictates every single thing in your life after your willpower is exhausted. That is why for some people, going to the gym is so easy. They don't even need their willpower. It has become a part of them because the story that they tell themselves is, I'm a fit person. I deserve to give only great food items to my body. My body is my temple. So that is the narrative that they have about themselves. If you have a poor self-concept about yourself or about the things that you deserve in your life, no matter what you do with your life, things are not going to change. So now how do we start working on this? So self-concept is the story and the narrative that we keep telling ourselves, which is so hardwired, which means we've got to start reframing the stories. How do we start reframing the stories? We start to build in and start inculcating a practice called awareness, which means we're going to start becoming much more conscious with our thought process. We're going to start becoming much more aware of the kind of conversations that we have in our mind. And every time, there are two ways of doing this. So there is something inside of you which is more like a stuck trauma, which is so hardwired as a story. So there are two ways of doing it. One is you start healing this. And the second thing, you start reframing this. And I would always recommend do both of this simultaneously. Healing something is you letting go of all of the old stuck energy inside of you that does not serve you anymore. And reframing the story is you using practices of consciousness, you using the practices of mindfulness, of affirmations, of standing in front of the mirror and repeating the stories and narratives to yourself again and again, using goals journaling every single day, doing a life audit. All these practices on my Instagram, on YouTube, I've spoken about this so many times. So once you start doing this simultaneously, what will start to happen is what is not possible for you will start to feel like it's possible for you. What you feel like you did not deserve starts to feel like you deserve that. And what feels like, oh, this is not so normal for me, starts to feel very, very normal, which means the story that you've told yourself all this while starts to change. Now that we've understood what self-concept is and how it truly affects the way we look at life and how it affects our manifestations, the next one is for us to understand what obsession is doing to us in the process of manifestation. So now let's dissect what obsession is. So this is who you are. And let's say, in this case, instead of money, there is a special person that you want to attract in your life, right? You want the specific person in your life and you want to be married to them and you feel like they are your soulmate, and there is so much of an obsessive energy. There is not creation energy. There's so Oh my God, the way I'm like fumbling, oh my God, jet lag is like crazy, right? So you want to attract a specific person in your life. So now, a person who operates from a space of creation, this person operates from a space of creation, and this person operates from a space of obsession. Let's understand what the difference is between two people who operates from a space of obsession and creation. So now the obsessive person believes that the entire sense of self-worth is dependent on this person falling in love with them, which means that they've made up their mind saying, only when this person falls in love with me am I even worthy of myself. And my life is going to be happy only, listen to this word, only when this person is a part of my life. And I can feel loved, I can feel amazing, I can feel so safe and secure only when this person is a part of my life. So when you place so much of an importance to how you feel on the inside towards just one specific person in your life, imagine the kind of tension and the kind of resistance that you're creating, which is naturally going to push this person away from your life. Because universe is going to try and do everything in its capacity to make you understand that your sense of self-worth can never be dependent on anything or anybody on the outside. The minute you start to feel worthy, in this case, think about it. Do you even feel worthy about yourself? No. You tell yourself, I will only feel worthy about myself when this person starts to fall in love with me. That's an insane way to look at life. So when you start operating from this space, what do you think you end up doing? You start chasing the person, you start becoming a people pleaser, you end up doing everything that the person wants you to do. There are absolutely no boundaries. You'll go to any extent to get this person for you in your life. So here, the importance that you give is not to how you feel. The importance you give is to the external entity or the person, and you give the person the entire responsibility of making you feel the way you want to feel, right? That is against the law of nature. Compared to the person who operates from a space of creation. So for the person who operates from a space of creation, they start to understand that their sense of self-worth needs to come from within. It can never be dependent on anything on the outside. And they sit down with themselves and they ask themselves, what is it I truly want for myself in a relationship? I want to feel loved. I want to feel protected. I want to feel like a priority. I want to feel valued in the relationship. So they make a list of all these qualities that they want to feel in the relationship, and they understand that these qualities are already inside of them. Rather than looking and being dependent on an external person to fill that for them, they start to tap into their own power to start feeling those qualities that they want another person to make them feel. So now this is going in alignment with the law of nature. Now, what is this person doing? This person is constantly feeling loved. This person is constantly feeling safe, secure. They're feeling like a priority. So their energy is an energy of all these emotions. Here, the energy is the emotion of lack of self-worth. I don't feel good. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. So now when this energy goes in the universe, it is going to bring into their life the exact match of this frequency, which means the person who walks into their life will make them feel more loved, more secure. They'll make them feel more like a priority, and they'll make them feel more safe. So the more focus you have on yourself to start identifying what is that is there inside of me that needs release, and you start to tap into those emotions inside of you, and you become so self-sufficient with yourself, you'll be amazed to see how things start to flow for you in your life. And the reason why most of us are so obsessed is because of two things. One is lack of trust, and the second one is control. We want to control the how. How is it going to happen? If I want a specific partner for me in my life, how am I going to orchestrate that? The more obsessed you are with the how, it comes from a space where you don't trust yourself, your ability to manifest, and you don't trust the ability of the universe to give you what you asked for, which means there is a lack of surrender. And for everybody who's struggling with control at this point of time in your life, like you want to have control of everything that is happening to you in your life, it's because you have a very poor relationship with the unknown. And please remember, magic happens only in the unknown. When you have a very poor relationship with the unknown, what ends up happening is you become very obsessive. You don't trust yourself, you don't trust the universe, and you get back into the same loop of feeling depressed that things are not moving for you. Just imagine this entire world, the entire cosmos, which is constantly expanding. And you and I have no idea where we came from. We have no idea where we're going to go. And you still believe that it is you who's in control of everything that's happening to you in your life. As much as it feeds your ego, I think the ego needs to be humble for most of us to start surrendering. Surrendering is not giving up and sitting down and saying, oh, I'm not going to do anything. You're going to face consequences for that. Surrendering is you co-creating with the universe and going with the flow of the universe. And how will you start trusting yourself more? When you do the things that you tell yourself you're going to do on a regular basis, the level of trust that you have in yourself starts to increase. And when you sit down and do the practices, when you build a deeper connection with the divine, through silence, through meditation, through chanting, through prayers, through gratitude, and all of these processes, there is a very unsaid and there is a very powerful emotion that gets created inside of your heart that can never be explained by your mind. I'm sure most of you watching this will be able to understand that. So this is the second reason. And the third reason, right? The third reason is you coming from a space of thinking and not feeling. What does this mean? It means everything that you want in your life is only coming from a mental image of it as a thought. Oh, I want this. I'd love to have a car. I'd love to have a house. I'd love to have a partner. See, in the process of manifestation, you need to understand every aspect has an energy vibration. Your thoughts have energy. Your words have energy. Your feelings have energy. Your action carries energy with that. The strongest of all of this is the feeling that you have. Thoughts are great. Actions are excellent. Very, very important. Words are very, very powerful. But what is even more important is the emotion and the feeling. So what you need to understand is always sit down with yourself and ask yourself, what is it I want to manifest for myself in my life? Let's say you want to manifest a car. You want to manifest $1 million. You want to manifest your soulmate. So now, when you think about all of these things, it's quite exciting. But I want you to slightly go within and ask yourself, okay, these are the things I want to manifest. But why do I want to manifest this? You always want to manifest something in the external world because you believe this is going to give you a specific feeling or specific emotion. Which means you want a car, you want a luxurious car because it makes you feel abundant. You want $1 million because it makes you feel free, which is a sense of freedom. You want a soulmate because you want to feel love. So every goal that you have in your life, everything that you want to manifest in your life is tied with a specific emotion that you want to feel. And the more you operate from these emotions, please remember, the car will never give you the feeling of abundance. You already have the feeling of abundance. And when you tap into that emotion of abundance, the car appears in your life because it is a reflection of the abundance you're already feeling on the inside. That's why I always say nobody in this world or nothing in this world can make you feel anything other than what you're... Okay, I'm going to repeat this. Jet lag, okay? Nobody or nothing in this world can make you feel anything other than what you're already feeling about yourself. Listen to that once again. Nobody or nothing in this world can make you feel anything other than what you're already feeling about yourself. If I'm going to come from a space of scarcity, right? I could have a lot of abundance in front of me. Like I could have like great cars, I could live in a mansion, I could have millions of dollars because it has come through my parents, my family, my inheritance or whatever. But I am not going to feel that abundance on the inside. That is why you will see a lot of people who are rich, to the external world, but they still feel so poor on the inside. So the goal here is for us to understand what is that emotion that every goal of mine is going to give me, and for you to start tapping into that emotion even before the goal appears. It is not about, I will believe it when I see it. It is more about, I see it in my mind and I believe it and I know it's going to happen for me in my life. So the emotions, so now what happens is, so the emotions that you're feeling on a regular basis, let's say this is you, You're visualizing your car, you're visualizing that abundance, you're visualizing money flowing into your life like so beautifully and so much with so much ease and grace, and you start to vibrate at that frequency of abundance. So when you start to vibrate at that frequency of abundance, whatever opportunities, people, circumstances in your life that needs to line up to create an external reality, which is a three-dimensional reality in your world, to make this true in your life, will happen. So, as much as it is very important for you to have more clarity on what are the things that you truly want to manifest in your life, the core essence of it is feeling. It's for you to come from a space of feeling. And especially when you set your goals, this is what I teach in my masterclass, I teach in my advanced programs also. These goals can come from two places. It can either come from a space of your void, or it can come from a space of your purpose or fulfillment. What is void, right? Oh, I didn't have anything when I was growing up, so I want so much money so that I can prove something to somebody else. What you need to understand is all our goals start from a space of void. I didn't have that, I want to have that. Great. Why would you want to have something which you already have? You would not. So the illusion of I don't have this and hence I want that is the starting point of all the goals that we have in our life. But what you will slowly start to understand is the quicker you transition from here to here, which means I didn't have money when I was growing up. I want to make a lot of money. It's a great way for you to push yourself forward. But how long will you use that energy for you to create abundance for yourself in your life? That's a very exhausting energy. And when you start living in that energy, you know what ends up happening? You will hustle, you'll make a lot of money, you'll still feel unfulfilled on the inside. But on the other side, you recognize, oh wow, I had a great drive in my life because I never had a lot of money when I was growing up. And that is enough. That story does not have to serve me anymore. Now I choose to have abundance in my life and I choose to experience abundance in my life because I deserve that. I deserve the experience of abundance. I deserve the experience of going to these exquisite places in this world, traveling first class, traveling business class. I want to experience this abundance by giving so much love, giving so much donation to people. So it comes from a space of creation, not from a space of avoiding your voids, right? So it takes a little bit of time and effort for you to sit with yourself to start understanding if it's coming from a space of void or purpose. So going back and doing a quick recap on what we saw today, right? The major reasons why you're not able to manifest what you want is because you have a poor self-concept about yourself. And when you have a poor self-concept about yourself, no matter how hard you try, you're going to go back and fall back into the same self-concept that has created a foundation inside of you. The next one is the obsessive nature that you have. I want this, I want this, I want this. The universe is going to be like, okay, I'm going to give you some time, take a breather and come back knowing that you deserve that. And the last one is you start using emotions and feelings as your anchor rather than just using thoughts. And one more important thing, information is amazing, information is great, but transformation does not happen only because of information. Information will remain as a memory bank for you if you don't start taking action. Taking action is very, very crucial. So please, as much as you learn, also utilize the time and energy of your life to start taking action so that you can live an abundant and a free life.